This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace world and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, a very nasally Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
I think I'm quite nasally too. Something's going around.
Good morning, everyone from Philadelphia.
Good morning. Just another day in paradise here. Good morning to you, sir. Good morning to our pod squad.
Yes, sir. Pod squad's here.
Yes. Yes. Got a good crew today.
Yes, sir.
Before we move on, I just kind of want to say rest in peace to Kevin Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, we woke up to the horrible news that Kevin had passed. And, I had heard that he was in a car accident and, pretty banged up and, it sucks. It just sucks. Kevin's a good dude, man. I've known him for a little bit, 20 years, 20 so years, back to when we were running shows in Philly and using them for 3PW and then just, doing the convention circuit and always, greeted me with a smile. Always had a joke, ready. Good dude, man. Great mind. Probably one of the most underrated minds in the wrestling business. Comes from that Eddie Graham learning tree down there in Florida. Eddie Graham, one of the world renowned bookers who ran Florida Championship Wrestling, and Dusty Rhodes learned from him, and Kevin learned from him. And so many people, idolized him. And Kevin went on to become a great booker himself. And, I was always a fan of Kevin, just whether I was seeing him in the magazines doing the devil stuff or, I was a huge fan of the Varsity Club, which was Kevin, Mike Rotundo, Rick Steiner, and Dr. Death Steve Williams, which... anytime I see something that's vaguely close to it, I was like, oh, that's like Varsity Club, right? Whether it was Team Angle or, the Alpha Academy, But, I saw a couple weeks ago, Conrad had said, prayers, for prayers needed for Kevin Sullivan. And just following up, there's some reports that he was doing okay, and then you wake up to find out that he had passed, and it's a shame, 71.
Yeah.
With complications due to an accident, they came out of nowhere. And I'd say, cherish every moment, just stuff like that happens. It just makes you appreciate like every day, getting up and being able to, be with, loved ones and stuff like that. Because you never know at the blink of an eye that, the whole world could change for somebody.
Yeah.
And my thoughts go out to Kevin, and his family. And it's just, kind of blindsided me. I knew he was in bad shape, but, wake up and see that he had passed really sucks.
Yeah, I got the news. I thought it was, maybe one of those, I don't want to say a hoax, but, a lot of times sometimes with older wrestlers and things, you see things and it's like, oh, well, you got to wait to confirm. And then I saw WWE's report and I was like, oh, shit, man, that sucks. I was always a big fan of the Taskmaster. That's how I remember him. And the Dungeon of Doom was always like, because you figure when Hogan jumped to WCW, I was that 94? says probably 8 or 9. So as a kid, you're watching the Dungeon of Doom and you're like, oh my God, this is terrifying, and the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, and he was so good at what he did too, like totally convincing. But, I always really enjoyed, like I said, as a kid, you look back on it now, you're like, okay, well, not everything hit, but you look back on it, in total and you're like, this guy was doing innovative stuff way before most people were even thinking that far ahead. I genuinely believe you wouldn't have characters like, and this might be too bold of me to say, but like, I don't think you would be able to have characters like Bray Wyatt or Karrion Kross or those darker, more horror-like characters without somebody like Kevin Sullivan paving the way. And I think,
absolutely.
I think he really did a lot for the industry. That's, I think, a lot of times underappreciated too. And I think I think that stuff is, it still holds up, but it's a shame, man. It's never fun to read that news. It's never good to hear those kinds of things. And I know that he was beloved by so many people. Lots of amazing stories that I've seen about him over the past couple of days, and it's a shame. It really is. So, yeah,
thoughts and prayers go out to his family. Yeah. It's a shame. What a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's like I said, it's like you said, man. It's just you got to just stay present in every moment and just make sure that you're aware and here and just enjoying every moment that you could be here. But not really sure how to pivot. Well, actually, let me ask you this: did you have any favorite stories with Kevin? Did you ever get a chance to really work with him? What's some of your memories with him?
Just, like I said, we were running 3PW in Philly and we had Kevin in for a show or two, working with Abdul. And I was like, you go pick him up at the airport and, get him in on an early flight. And you want to, take him to the hotel and get rested and, and I'm at the counter. I'm like, I've been racking my brain, like, what music should we have him come out to the ring to? And I was like, hey, Kev, what song do you want to come to the ring to? He's like, well, I think it's fairly obvious, shout the devil, and just, and his Boston accent is he's always witty, with his replies, and just, you go, oh, well, yeah, obviously, just. But he was always cool, man. Last time I saw him was Cauliflower Alley out in Vegas right before the lockdown. And, just stand, catch him by an elevator, just stand there, talk for 15, 20 minutes. And, he's always, into his Boston sports and, wrestling and going fishing and stuff like that, I think the Boston Red Sox paid a little tribute to him yesterday.
That's cool.
On the video board. So, just a good dude, man. Yeah. Just a good dude.
One of the things I do remember, too, I was thinking about it, too, thinking about my Nitro fandom, as a younger man. After Hogan turned heel, I think they were doing some kind of, I think it was the first Nitro after he turned heel. And I'm pretty sure it was Kevin Sullivan. Somebody can check on this for me, but I remember watching them and like the angle was like all the heels and all the faces, they were all kind of really confused about what was going on. And like, they're trying to keep character, but they're also like, this is fucking crazy, and the way that if I'm remembering correctly, I remember thinking at that time, like as a kid, you're never really sure what's real and what isn't. And I just loved the fact that like Kevin Sullivan was selling it so well, where he was trying to do his thing, but he was also like, do we really have to do this right now? Like, what are we going to do in WCW? Yeah. And I was like, thinking back about that, I was like, man, I didn't appreciate it at the moment, but looking back on it and his attention to those kinds of details was just like, to me, was next level. So I'll have to find that clip and watch it back, because it was like one of those really like random moments in the show, but it stuck out to me so much that I that's one of the things that I remember about the most about the Hogan heel turn was that. So like I said, like we said, rest in peace to Kevin Sullivan, best wishes and thoughts to his family right now. And he will definitely be missed, but we want to thank you for coming to the show today. We appreciate you listening each and every week. Thank you for being here. Like I said, Pod Squad's here in the group chat. Travis is here as well. Hail Buddha Dean.
Yeah.
We have Lucha
Purple
here.
haze comes from the ocean.
We have Lucha here this morning with us. We have Lucha. We got Vanessa here as well.
Hello, Vanessa.
I know we gave him a shout this morning as well. We got Andy Schlichter in the chat.
Schlichter.
Got Nate Smythe, Sheridan Ford Sales. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you joining us every morning. When you're here on your Mondays, we appreciate you, but we want to kind of quickly talk about SummerSlam and the fallout from that with the return of Roman Reigns. Did you get a chance to check it out? What were your thoughts on the program? And did the CM Punk match live up to expectation for you?
Yeah, the CM Punk, man. That talk about one of the great stories going on today. You know, of course, Bloodline stories, awesome.
Yeah.
But, subtleties, two grown men fighting over a friendship bracelet.
Yeah.
It's, it goes deeper than that, but
right.
Just the way they told the story within the match of, Drew took Punk's bracelet, the friendship bracelet, after he laid him out in Chicago. He's been wearing it around, and they have the match, and I forget how Drew lost the bracelet. It got taken off. Mm-hmm. Then Punk goes to reach for it and gets cut off. And, referee Seth Rollins wants to get it out of the way, so he just slides it on real quick to keep it out of the way. And then Punk is like, why are you wearing the bracelet? And then, the match, I forget. How did he gave Seth the go to sleep? Yeah,
he gave him the go to sleep, and then I think Drew hit Punk with the Claymore, and I think and then Seth came in and counted the 3. Yeah,
and just subtle storytelling, but yet effective storytelling, and just love the way. Yeah, and this has been going on for a few months now. When Punk came back at Survivor Series, and they cut, you see the kayfabe footage of Seth and Drew like losing their stuff, losing their shit outside the ring.
Yeah,
and it came all the way through to where Drew and Seth hate Punk, Punk hates them, and then Royal Rumble, Punk gets injured, and Drew talks about how he prayed for that moment, and it's heavy stuff, just and just the back and forth, Punk costing Drew the title at WrestleMania, and then again in Scotland at Clash at the Castle, and it was interesting to see that Punk get his come up, see Punk, lose, but. That can only further the storyline. Yeah. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, dude.
The stuff they've been doing on social media with an unwitting Jungle Boy posing for a photo with Drew. And oh, my God.
So good, man. It's so good.
It's fantastic. And, just everything about it has been perfection.
Yeah.
From a booking standpoint.
Yeah, they really just killing it, man. I think about the way that Drew McIntyre and his arc was kind of like, we talked about it before, like it was kind of stagnant, it felt like, for a little bit. Like he wasn't winning the title, and then all of a sudden this freak accident happens in the ring where Punk gets injured. Obviously, we know this, like it was an accident, right? But now it takes this whole thing. And it's not even just for Drew. It kind of really reinvented Punk in a lot of ways too. It gave him additional mileage, because in my head I'm going, okay, great, CM Punk's back. Now what? And that's not a negative thing, but I'm always thinking what are they going to do with this character? How are they going to reintroduce him? And the storyline initially was him and Seth Rollins, which I'm sure would have had tons of mileage on it. But now we're almost a year into this Punk and Drew and Seth thing, and there's no indication that it's going to slow down. Seth is, again, out with injury, something with his ribs or something. It's a chronic thing he's got going on. So now we're going to see Drew and Punk with the potential of doing something in Berlin. And then you have Bad Blood coming up. And it's like nothing about it feels stale. Nothing about it feels like it feels very Bloodline-ish, where it's like it's just this perpetual ongoing story. And for me, watching it, it was like, that was the match of the night for me. And it may also be the match of the year at this point right now. Like, I can't think of a match I enjoyed more than Punk and Drew at SummerSlam. But I thought it was perfectly executed. Like, for me, it was like 10 out of 10. Give me this shit all fucking day.
And you were there in person. So,
yeah.
I mean, what was the crowd reaction there?
It was almost like I felt like watching the crowd. Like, I feel like everybody was... The two big matches of the night, I think, were Punk and Drew and Cody and Solo, because everybody kind of had an idea that, Roman was coming back, right? But the pop that CM Punk got was, I think, the loudest. Obviously the pop that Roman got was the loudest of the night.
Yeah.
But the pop that Punk got was just unreal, and it was crazy, man. Like, the energy was great. Like, the way it was built up, it was perfect. And just watching them dance and do everything was just phenomenal. CM Punk actually popped his head into the media press conference. I don't know if I told you, like the media day when we were all there. I'm standing there waiting to talk to, I think it was Bailey, if I remember correctly. And all of a sudden I see this red sweatshirt just like come up next to me, and, the hood up and everything. And I look over and I'm like, "What's up, dude? Like, you hungry?" I was like, "You hungry? There's some snacks over." Like, I don't know what the fuck to say to CM Punk. I'm like, "If you're hungry, there's drinks and shit, And he's just like staring at me with this intensity. And he was like, and he just walked off. I was like, I don't know what to do, but everybody like started being like, "Is that CM Punk? What the fuck is going on?" He just like showed up. But no, the crowd, like I said, the crowd was really into Punk and Drew. And I think, like I said, the dynamics of the crowd really helped that whole match. But yeah, just fucking chef's kiss to those guys, and can't wait to see what's next there. Obviously, I thought the roof was going to, well, if there was a roof on the Cleveland Browns Stadium, it would have come off when Roman Reigns came back. But what did you think about that match? What did you think about Jacob, too? I want to get your thoughts on Jacob's involvement.
Yeah. It was the inevitable. I thought, we talked about this last week. They were laying out the breadcrumbs, where, Cody accepted the bloodline rules match. And, he said, something about the real head. You're not the real head of the table,
Yeah.
And that led me to believe that, Roman was coming back. And it was just a matter of what point in the match. And, dude, it was just as good as I could have hoped for.
Yeah.
With Roman, the music hits, and if you're watching that, I was cracking up because the ref, sold it, and I'm like, the ref almost sold it as if Roman was coming for him.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch it and then you see the music hit and you look at the ref's face, it's like, no, he's not coming for you, buddy. Calm down, Dave. Or Dan. Dan's his name. But he just does that slow walk down.
Yeah.
And just comes down and slides in and hits Solo with the Superman punch and does the spear and, stands up, looks at Cody and goes, "All right."
Yeah.
It's like that sign of respect, which I'm sure we're still waiting for those two to have a little face off, talk about what happened. But just the reaction was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. And he's got the OTC shirt on saying original tribal chief. But every time I say OTC, I'm thinking I grew up in the day where they had off-track betting. And it was OTB. So I kept on saying, "Is that me off-track betting?" No, that's to be in the same. No. Then somebody had to point it out to me that Captain Obvious over here, original tribal chief. It was it's the moment we have been waiting for since Roman lost at SummerSlam. He kind of went away for a little bit, licked his wounds. He watched, Solo try to overtake his faction and, try to force, the wise man, Paul Heyman, to acknowledge him as the tribal chief, laid him out using the move that, that power bomb that Roman used in the Shield.
Yeah.
And just, laid everybody out. And it's like, it was one of those daddy's homes moment, where, the look on Solo's face where, because, a couple months, a month or two ago, he's like, Roman ain't coming back. Roman came back, and the look on Solo's face was amazing. So they did something on SmackDown too, which I missed because we're celebrating Mrs. Meanie's birthday on Friday. But I'll have to play catch up with that and see what's going on with that. But yeah, it was SummerSlam was a great event. The two matches I was looking forward to. I mean, I was looking forward to the show as a whole, but those two matches were great. Punk and Drew and Cody and Solo with Roman coming back. Fantastic.
Yeah. It was really well done. Like I said, you kind of had an idea that it was coming, but you weren't really sure that it was going to happen. And then it happened, and it was perfectly executed. I know that, I think it was SmackDown. Roman came out and I think attacked Solo, gave him the Superman punch, and really setting up the storyline for the next, again, we know we're likely heading into Survivor Series with the Bloodline Civil War. There's also some confusion about whether or not Jacob is actually injured or not. There's some folks have said that he is, some folks said that he isn't. So we're not really sure. If he is, we hope he heals up quickly. But if he isn't, obviously they again played it to perfection. But just an incredible event. Like, it was so much fun. If you go, excuse me, if you go to the Foundation Radio YouTube page right now, you can see my SummerSlam vlog is there as well. So you can check out some of the sights and things that we were doing through the weekend. And again, glad to be home here and no longer in Al Snow's dungeon as well. But he does say hi. So one thing I want to get into before we get into Ask Meanie, our favorite segment here, we have some news. And I think if I hear the 6ABC news somewhere, the sound. There she is. Meanie and I, the Mind of the Meanie, is now officially a part of the One True Sport Network. And we are very excited to be joining them. We're going to be obviously giving more information over the next couple of weeks, but a lot of great programming on there right now. We're joining Arn Anderson, Rob Van Dam, Kurt Angle, Jake the Snake Roberts, lots of incredible folks on that platform. So I just wanted to get your, kind of give your thoughts about joining Mr. Bromwell and the brothers D'Angelo on the network and what we can expect.
Yeah, man. Good crew over there. Paulie and the D'Angelo brothers launched this new platform, and just happy to be asked to be a part of it. When you just list off all those names of everybody's on there with Arn and Rob Van Dam and Jake, and I believe Magnum's on there.
Yep, Magnum CA.
Yeah, just so many names that I respect, and the people who inspired me to get into wrestling, to be in that company along with them means a lot. And this is to be on the ground floor of something that's starting. Should be awesome, and I look forward to seeing where it takes Mind of the Meanie.
Yeah,
we've been doing this 4 years. Mm-hmm. We started right at when the world shut down, and 4 years, and we're still here, and this is just the next evolution of what the show could be or should be.
Absolutely. And like I said, there's a lot of great things, a lot of cool things coming. Some changes to the show, nothing crazy, but we're very excited. It'll just be Like I said, we're working out some of the final details. We're also going to have a brand new merchandise store as well. So you'll be able to pick up official gear for, I believe, Blue Meanie and Mind of the Meanie from the One True Sports store. So like I said, once we get all that information out to you, we'll be able to give you more information. We're probably going to start transitioning over there sometime towards the end of the month, but we wanted to get the news out to you so you all were prepared. And we're very excited. We're thrilled that Paul and the D'Angelo brothers thought about us and came together pretty quickly. And we're very excited to join the team over there. So lots of cool things to come. And we hope that you will join us over there. Now, your podcast feed, I know if you're listening right now, where you get your show is going to remain the same. We're going to stay right on this RSS feed. We're not changing any of those dynamics. You'll also be able to get the audio version over on our YouTube page the same way you did before, but you'll be able to watch the video show over at One True Sports YouTube page. So like I said, once we get all those final details out, we'll give you a nice rundown of how to find everything and how to keep up with us. So we want to thank you all again for tuning in with us and being a part of the show and helping us grow, because when you help us grow, and you tell your friends about us, or even an enemy, maybe somebody saw Wawa, you're like, hey, that guy's a dick, but I think he would really enjoy this wrestling podcast that I like. That helps us. So, Meanie, I do have a quick question for you, sir.
Yeah, cause.
If you may.
Yep. Yeah, cause. What's that?
Are you ready to ask, Meanie?
I would love to.
It's time to ask Meanie anything.
Ask me something.
It's time to ask Meanie anything.
Ask me something.
Had to improvise there for a second because the screen froze. Don't forget, you can tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and you may hear them on the program. RJ Krasinski, friend of the show, wants to know from us, what is a bold prediction for your Eagles this coming season? And instead of Go Birds, he wrote Go Bills.
Oh, well, come on now. I always said that a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl would probably be the end of the world. Getting those two fan bases in one stadium would be cataclysmic. Bold prediction, dude, man. For me, every year Super Bowl. But I think we got a good squad. Got to go to training camp last week, which was pretty cool. Got to see a lot of the players up close. It's so cool to stand there and be so close, maybe 50 feet away from where they're running plays. And you're like, oh, man, this is sweet. But, yeah, the whole team looks good. Some minor injuries, during training camp, but nothing serious that, guys should be ready for week one. I'm just excited. I don't know how bold a prediction could be, but definitely a good playoff run. I can see him making it back to the Super Bowl with this, health, health being a factor, Yeah. I can see them going pretty far. They got two new coordinators who I really like, Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. And Fangio was basically in the building 2 years ago when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. He was a consultant on the defense. So I like it. I'm excited. I love football. The only thing I hate about football is it makes my summer go by way too quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, and between the stuffiness from each of us today and the cold weather that's coming, I'm sure it's going to be a relentless one.
Apologies to everybody listening. I just feel like you're dog shit right now.
Listen, man, it's the change of the weather. It happens, bud. It's totally understandable. Our last question today is from Matt from Dover. He wants to know, what are your thoughts on Los Angeles Knight winning the United States title and his rejuvenated career?
I think that's one of the matches I predicted, or I predicted he would win that because, he's over. LA Knight's over, and in order to evolve or go up a notch, a piece of gold helps.
Mm-hmm.
So the U.S. title is a prestigious title. Back in the day when there was just, NWA/WCW and WWF, the U.S. title was the next stepping stone to the world title. WWE, the Intercontinental title, was the stepping stone to the world title. But United States Championship is very prestigious, and it's something I think that will give LA Knight that extra little oomph onto the next tier, because he's been doing everything right.
Yeah.
And then, how do you prevent becoming stagnant or stale? Just give him a little run with the U.S. title and see where that goes. And then after that, on to the next championship or the next feud. But, I definitely think LA Knight needed a little bump there in winning that U.S. title.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like I said, it was, excuse me, another big pop in the crowd. But I just love the fact that, and it's funny, I think about it too, that Max Dupree stuff was terrible. Like, it was just not.
I don't even think about that anymore. It just
was so bad, and it was like
it was a fever dream.
It really was. It felt like a fever dream looking back on it now, and you're like, wow, this guy really. And I love the way that they like slow built to it. Once Hunter kind of took the book, and they slow built to like this new character and bringing him back. And I mean, God, it's just been tremendous to watch him grow. And it was definitely the right choice, right? It was the right choice at the right moment, and I think he's really going to have a solid run with it. So I'm excited to see where it goes next. But I want to thank you, sir, Blue Guy, for being here today and doing the show with us. And I want to thank you for listening out there in the world. And Meanie, while everyone, and remember, don't forget, each and every week, don't forget to tweet us using the hashtag #AskMeanie, and you may hear your comments and questions on the show with us. But I want to know, sir, where everyone can keep up to date with all things blue when they're not listening to us here.
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, @BlueMeanieBWO. To support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/BlueMeanie. Support Mind of Me, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/MindofTheMeanie. Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand, go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use coupon code Meanie or use coupon code MIND. Save 10% over there at collarandelbowbrand.com. MadCatBeardCare.com. Go to MadCatBeardCare.com. Get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil or Balm. Shout out to my boy Josh Thornton over there, doing an amazing job rounding up the cats. The feral cats in this neighborhood. He takes them to the vet, releases them back out in the wild, and they making them feel better than he found them. So if you're a cat lover like myself, go to MadCatBeardCare.com. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters by the amazing Hal Haney, but many real-world wrestlers, including myself and many others. Go to ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's ultraprowrestling.com or on Twitter at UPW Video Game. The Figure Collections Bone Crushing Series wrestlers, start that again. The Figure Collections Bone Crusher The Figure Collections Bone Crushing Wrestlers Series 1 variants of the Blue Meanie are available right now. All Series 1s can be ordered right now at shop.figurecollections.com. That's shop.figurecollections.com. Type Blue Meanie in the search bar and get original Blue Meanie or BWO Blue Meanie. Either way, there is no wrong choice. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's PODSCRZ.net. Register your podcast, book the Blue Guy, and let's have a conversation over there at podstars.net. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. Let's make somebody's day a little bit brighter. Book through the site. Don't book through the app. The app takes too much of your hard-earned money, and the talent doesn't see that money. So, but most importantly, Mr. Barnard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. So find us there. You can also listen to my other show, Foundation Radio, by going to youtube.com/@FoundationRadioPod or going to foundationradio.net. net. Like I said, you can find my SummerSlam recap vlog there as well. You can also see my interviews with Bailey, Rhea Ripley, and Jade Cargill all live as we speak right now at youtube.com/@FoundationRadioPod. Shout out to the homies at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go and get your hair and beard cleaned up by Kane or Jordan or the rest of the team at 10thwardbarbershop.com. Feinberg Method. Use the promo code Goober. Save 20% off of your entire purchase. My trainer, Brad Feinberg, is ready to help you with your physical and mental well-being at thefeinbergmethod.com. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on at the Casa DeMeanie in the Barnard home for wayward and troubled youth. Don't forget to check out bodyslam.net for all of my articles and written pieces there as well. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Sign up today. Tiers start at just $10. Right above Meanie there, youtube.com/@Mind of the Meanie. Subscribe and keep up to date with our show. And then below us here are all of our social media handles where you can keep up to date with everything going on the show. Meanie, I want to thank you, sir, for doing the show. And
thank you.
I want to thank the Pod Squad for being here as well each and every week. For the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the Meanie. Peace.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, @Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order. Dad, why is Blue Meanie's brain out?